My fearless friends, I want you to start looking ahead, but not in the future. This is so powerful. Welcome to another wonderful episode of Stories About Fear, where this concept has truly made me think about my life choices and how I look at things. Because I always thought that it's amazing when I am a big picture person. However, this may be most of the times very overwhelming. Therefore, when I heard about this concept, I thought, okay, this is going to help me keep anxiety under control forever and for good. When we think about anxiety, what does it truly mean? Because we have so many scientific definitions which are all accurate, but they're so complex that our mind sometimes says, thank you, I've had enough. Next, we go to other ideas and we simply forget about the importance of us working on us and asking ourselves questions, because this is what we need to do in 99% of the cases when we feel that things are off. Now, looking ahead, but not looking in the future, what does it really mean? It means taking it step by step. It means that you only have in front of you making another step, and that's it. After you have successfully finished making the next step, then I'm going to invite you to look at the next step, not the second, the third, the fourth, the 100th step. It's you just taking one step at a time, stopping, doing it, not thinking about anything else, not visualizing anything else, because this is when we get overwhelmed, my fearless friends. And if you are into business, if you have your own business, or if you think about starting your own business, there are billions and gazillions and trillions things to do. There's always something to do. So I want you to make a miniature list. I have a word here. Use something that times your every action. So let's say that you want to start working on your website. Maybe you only have 15 minutes per day, but you really need to get things done. Do you have less than 15 minutes? Okay, right there, website, 10 minutes per day. Today it is a Friday on my end. I want you to be very extra careful with your time. And there's that amazing saying, be frugal with your time, not with your money, from my favorite podcast, Get Rich Education. That makes so much sense. The only issue, the real problem why we never get things done, is that we don't time ourselves. We have endless lists of to do. We have so many things going on that many times we think that, I'm never going to finish this. I'm never going to get this done. And you're right, 100% right. And by the way, what you tell yourself is exactly what you will accomplish. So I want you to start timing yourself very closely about 10 minutes, 15 minutes per task, because it's great if you can get more things done. But there's another thing as well. If you prefer to only do one thing a day, that's great if that works for you. However, bear in mind that there may be things that require your attention, several other things in your life, like family, kids, or anything else that's of importance. So we want to thoroughly think about that as well. The next step, when you make the next step from your to-do list, this means that everything else is shut down. Again, I need to be very specific about you not looking ahead. You don't need to look at the second step when you are halfway through the first one. Be very mindful of this, because then you get overwhelmed, then you get those intrusive fears and thoughts. It's too much. I can't do this anymore. It's way too much. I feel overwhelmed. I feel concerned. I feel like I'm not going to get things done. When you create this discipline, and I want you to be very patient with yourself, my fearless friend, it takes time. All things of greatness take time and patience, and you need to be aligned with you to know that you are doing your very best in this very moment. If you could have done more, my fearless friends, my God, you would have done more 100%. So be very mindful about the process because it takes time. You need to be very rational about you knowing that you have been doing things in a certain way for a very long time. It's not like you can change things on the spot. It really takes time and practice and more than anything, patience. And I want us to talk a bit about these new skills, this patience skill, this skill of being perseverant, the skill of being very grateful because these things take time. Of course, when you hear gurus and amazing people in personal development talking about these things, you may be saying, oh, they're so good at this. They're maybe born with it. Well, it's not Maybelline. I had to say this. They're not born with it. No one is born with anything. You learn it. Yes, some people may be more fortunate to be in a family where they just cultivate gratitude nonstop. Well, I didn't have this. Or maybe you have family or relatives or an environment that cultivates patience. Well, again, I didn't have this, and I have a feeling you have not had it either. This takes time. And whenever we think that things should happen faster, it's not realistic, my fearless friends. Be honest with yourself. All things of great nature take time. All of the people that are highly successful, we see Musk, we see Zuckerberg, we see the Amazon guy. I have a lapsus right now. I don't remember his name. But these guys took many, many years of working on themselves so much, of failing so much, making mistake after mistake, failure in business, one failed business after the other, until they reached a point where they can say, wow, things have kind of compounded for me, but it took 5 years, it took 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years. So you being patient with yourself is something that you cultivate in time, my fearless friends. Whenever you feel that society makes you look like you are very behind, you are not in tune with you. You are people pleasing big time. And it's time that you start asking yourself some great new questions. And you know, I always give you questions because the inner work, the inner dialogue is everything that you need in order to grow and take yourself to the next level. This is if you prefer to work on your own. Because if you have a mentor, if you have a coach that works with you, then it is easier, 100%. And of course, I'm always very, very happy to support you and to help you in taking your fears to the next level, meaning that you become good friends with them. This is what we are doing here. We want to be good friends with everything that we feel. Nothing that we feel is wrong, nothing is bad, and you only need to validate yourself. In this sense, one of the best questions that I want you to ask yourself is this one. Why do I feel this? Why do I feel this? And keep the curiosity of a kid, because when you do that, amazing things happen. And again, write it down on a piece of paper because you get some breakthroughs that you would not expect. You'll be thinking, was this it? Was this what I was afraid of? Another great question is this one. What can I do despite fear? What can I do despite fear? This brings you so much hope and acceptance and self-confidence, because when you are accepting your fear, it means that you are accepting yourself. It means that you are not dismissing your emotions, because this is what it's all about. The big picture here is that we accept ourselves and our emotions fully. There's no shame, there's no guilt in you feeling the way that you do. And it's high time, it's about time, my fearless friends, that you put yourself on the spotlight in your life. And you stop worrying about whatever happens out there, because what happens out there is not real. You are the one that interprets it all. You're the translator, you are the guide, you are the decoder of everything that you see out there. So when your self-confidence is 100%, and again, this takes time, this means that you have fully accepted yourself, and then you are the one that calls the shots completely, and you'll be so aligned with you not thinking about anything that's out there, but you focusing on what's happening here. It's a daily practice. It is. Is it difficult? It's very difficult, and I'm not here to scare you. I don't want to put any fears, any extra fears in you. And to be honest, it's nothing to be scared of, but it's you dedicating yourself that time to work on yourself, maybe 5 minutes, 2 minutes a day, you asking yourself these questions, because when you get fully accountable on who you are, about what you want to achieve, you begin to be perseverant. You begin to be very powerful in terms of nothing that's out there can harm me. I am the one that validates myself. And the thing is that I am recording these podcast episodes live. I'm not going to edit anything. I'm just going to cut the beginning, cut the end, add the music, and that's it. Voila. Easy. Well, not really. My husband helps me, which is awesome. However, I make mistakes. I stumble. I'm not a native English speaker, and that is okay, because you're not here for me. This is another great way for you to know that whatever you think that others may think about you, it has nothing to do unless you think that about yourself. I could be here stumbling, saying words, pronouncing words that are not said right, because again, I'm not a native speaker. However, I can be very gentle and kind with myself and say, I'm doing my best. My community and the people that truly need my support are here because they need to get inspiration. They need to step on their fears. They need to accept themselves more. So my message is far more important than how I look. Body dysmorphia conquered. My message is more important than how I say things. You conquering your fear of public speaking as well, but what's most important is what you say, and to make sure that it comes from the heart as well. It's been quite a complex talk today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know what you think. Do you have any questions? I am literally everywhere on social media. Roxana Popet, Popet. You can also find me on my website, roxanapopet.com. And I have some great news for you. If you want to know the backstory, the behind the scenes, there is this amazing, wonderful book, the Imperfectly Perfect Campaign book series that has launched last week. You are going to love this. I'm going to add the link of the book in the description of this episode as well. If you want to check my story and other amazing stories of challenges being conquered and people thriving through their own power. This is unbelievable. These stories will change your life and they will heal you as much as I have been healed. And as well, if you want further support, I truly am so honored and happy to support you and your team in business in conquering all of your fear and stress, and to finally taking things to the next level by making decisions fast. My fearless friends, I'll see you soon with another great live episode.